Do you have any evidence that Russia bombed hospitals in Syria?
We have seen.
I barely got a history degree at the University of South Florida.
Some press reporting to that end. We have seen some Syrian civil society groups say that. And I would tell you that we have other operational information that lead us to believe that that Russian targeting has not only not been focused on ISIL, but has in fact caused collateral damage and some civilian casualties, to include some civil infrastructure. And so, yes, we've seen some information that would lead us to believe that Russian military aircraft did hit a hospital.
Can you share evidence of that? Those
No,
are
I
very
can-
serious allegations. Reports are not enough, are they? Can you offer
I think I just
something
did.
more solid than reports?
I think I just did.
I barely got a history degree at the University of South Florida.
I said we have operational reporting that would lead us to believe that that's the case.
Can you share that?
No, I'm not going to
Evidence?
talk about. I'm not going to share intelligence and operational information here from this podium. You asked me a very direct question. I gave you a direct answer. We have reason to believe that happened, and like we would do when and if, and as you know,
I barely got a history degree at the University of South Florida.
we recognize that in Afghanistan, U.S. aircraft struck a hospital, and so we're holding ourselves to account for that by having multiple investigations look at it to see what happened, and what lessons can be learned and how we can avoid it. We've owned up to that.
Well, Russia denies that, but those are very serious allegations. Don't you think that evidence needs to be public about, well, you're saying the U.S. government believes that Russia
I said we have
targeted
information that
hospitals.
lead
Do you
us to
have
believe
evidence?
that they did. That did.
Can
And
you share that information?
I've answered
What
your
is the
question.
source of that information?
Ma'am, I've answered your question, and I'm not gonna talk about intelligence information or operational information here from this podium. I've answered your question as honestly as I can. Okay.
Can you really offer no details on the hospital that the U.S. accuses Russia of hitting?
We're going to stand by Mr. Kirby's words.
You're not even going to say where it is, that hospital that you're saying Russia hit?
What we're saying is that we have seen information that Russia is targeting civilian infrastructure. Russia is targeting civilian infrastructure. Russia is targeting civilian infrastructure.
But
and we would point you to the Syrian
about
NGOs on the ground, as well as open source reporting on that.
He spoke about a specific hospital in Syria. Where exactly is it? What details can you offer about that hospital?
Again, I'm not going to get into this sort of detail of operational assessment for this. Maybe you should speak to the Russians on their targeting. Maybe you should speak to the Russians on their targeting.
Well, actually, they have.
Clearly, either she or her colleagues have spoken to the Russians about it, and they say
point.
that you're wrong. Okay? Isn't it incumbent on you to come up with some, even a location? It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult or violate any kind of intelligence sources and methods to say where exactly it is that you're talking about when you make the accusation. That's the first thing, and then the second thing is you just expanded it quite broadly to say not just hospitals. You said that the Russians are actually targeting civilian infrastructure.
Thank you, Matt. Actually, the Russians have hit. Thank you for the
Are they
clarification.
targeting?
No, they've hit. And
Okay,
I
so
appreciate that.
they're
They are
not targeting civilian infrastructure?
No, and thank you
Okay.
for that.
Ma'am, well, details are especially relevant. This morning, the Russian Defense Ministry has released images and video of the hospital in Sarmin, which was allegedly hit by Russia. And these images, they show the building of the hospital, which doesn't look like it was recently bombed. I printed them out just in case you haven't seen them. I can show them. Can you see why it's important for the U.S. to show its evidence of the alleged destruction of a hospital by Russia?
How about this? I'll take your question. If there's information we can share, we'll get back to you. Okay.
Ce qui s'est produit hier à Paris et à Saint-Denis, près du Stade de France, c'est un acte de guerre.
We're going to do whatever it takes to bring these terrorists to justice.
We want to increase the capabilities of our brilliant special forces.